Hey, welcome back to our Achievement Hunter series aimed at capturing the Alterac Valley gameplay achievements with quick, efficient, and at times wacky decks. Today we're making a path for the Druid and Demon Hunter achievements. Let's get into it. This should be interesting. As we're seeking fun and efficient methods to strike down the Druid and Demon Hunter achievements, we occasionally employ peculiar strategies, particularly since none of these require that we win games to complete them. We always include timestamps for each achievement and deck codes for each deck mentioned in the description below in case you'd like to skip to one you're looking for. Now, let's dive into the resources we're recommending to root out these achievements. Let's start with the achievement which is literally impossible to complete in Standard at the moment. Choose one, choose all. Since Pathmaker casts the other choice from the last choose one spell, and there are only 6 choose one spells in Standard, the max progress you can make on this right now without venturing into wild or duels is 12 out of the 16 required. If we do get 2 new choose one spells as part of the mini set, it will be possible to do in Standard. But if not, this may be the first non-bugged achievement which is actually impossible to complete in Standard constructed Hearthstone. Still, you can start your progress in Standard with this Choose Tokens deck running Sow the Soil, Capture Coldtooth Mine, and Power of the Wild. Once you've had Pathmaker cast both versions of one of these Choose One cards, just swap it out for copies of another Choose One spell you haven't completed yet. If we do get 2 more Choose One spells with the mini set, you can most likely use this deck as a base to finish the achievement off in Standard. Venturing into Wild, we have so many choices for Choose One spells, and this deck is jam-packed with them. With 9 unique low-cost Choose One spells, and Baleful Banker, Zola, Floop, and Lynchin to get you extra copies of Pathmaker, you should be able to knock this achievement out fairly quickly. The real challenge will be keeping track of which Choose One options you've already had Pathmaker repeat. That's why I'd recommend making a list of all 18 possible options beforehand and checking them off as you go along. Of course, you can swap any of these Choose One spells out for alternative Choose One spells, but the current list felt pretty good at cycling through the deck and surviving long enough to play a couple Pathfinders per game. Best of luck keeping track of all your choices. The first Druid achievement we covered required cards outside of Standard to complete, but this next one requires that you play Wildheart Guff for his Battlecry and in your turn once you've reached 20 mana crystals. I've heard that Lightning Bloom mana crystals don't count, so you will need to reach 20 actual mana crystals and in your turn to complete this one. Since it's not possible to get Wildheart Guff from Duels buckets, and he doesn't appear to be available in Arena, the only way to get Guff if you don't own a copy is to get lucky when facing a Druid opponent who is running Guff and generate a copy of him with cards like Plagiarize, Vanessa Van Cleef, Mindrender Elusia, Psychic Conjurer, etc. Quite the challenge, and not something I'd recommend for the faint of heart. But if you do have Guff, he opens the door for quite a few fun plays. Any deck with him and a fair bit of ramp can knock this out, but a really fun deck we found is this Just Yoggin deck by Brian Kibler. Thanks to Moonlit Guidance, it's possible to use the 20 mana crystals you grow to and drop 2 Cthuns on the same turn for a burst of 60 damage. It's usually overkill, but it is a fun payoff for all the ramping you did. Of course, Cthulhu isn't the least bit necessary for this achievement, but he made the cut in the wild deck we're recommending as well. Guff's Twig of Cthulhu not only includes Biology Project and Nourish to help with mana ramping, but if you break the Twig of the World Tree after playing Guff, either naturally or by playing Sphere of Sapience to break it, you'll jump by 10 mana crystals right away. So it's entirely possible you could reach 20 mana crystals before your opponent can get to 10 mana. Just a slight advantage over most decks. Good luck avoiding problems along your journey to more mana. Okay, can we all agree that Frostwolf Cub is the cutest creature in Alterac Valley? Yes, mountain cubs are cute too, but look at that art! Okay, getting back on track. I hope you think they are cute, because you're gonna need to summon a bunch of them for this PUPPIES achievement. Fortunately, Frostwolf Kennels is not the only way to get Frostwolf Cubs. We can get them from Dire Frostwolf and Direwolf Commander as well. This Beast Druid deck runs all of those cards, as well as Menagerie Warden, as a way to copy Dire Frostwolf or a Cub directly. So as long as you don't overwhelm your opponent too quickly with the Beast Druid synergies, you can get quite a bit of progress per game with this deck. In Wild, you could just modify the Beast Druid we introduced to be even more aggressive, but we decided to take a very different approach. One goal of this line-cracking Kennels Druid is to gain an insane amount of armor thanks to the Line Cracker, Bees, and Earthen Scales. You can reach well over 1000 armor if you use Floop's Glorious Gloop to enable a Bees combo turn. So what do you do with so much armor? You copy Frostwolf Kennels with Educated Elix and a Floop Elic for up to 15 turns of Cubs. It's definitely not a fast way to knock out the achievement. We'd recommend the first deck for speed. But it's a fun approach you can take if you enjoy a slower attrition style of game. Sadly, quite a few of your opponents will likely concede when you generate massive amounts of armor, but the games where you do get to flood the board with cute cubs are a lot of fun. Best of luck breeding lots and lots of puppies. Druids aren't the only ones looking to summon lots of minions for their achievements. Demon Hunters have to summon 40 demons with Sigil of Wreckoning for the Wreckoning achievement. The deck we use to knock this out in Standard is this Greedy Sigils Demon Hunter running 10 big demons and Jace Darkweaver as a way to recast Sigil of Wreckoning later in the game. It also includes an Educated Elic, which can be used to shuffle an extra copy of Sigil of Wreckoning into the deck when the matchup looks like one which could go long enough to draw it. It took 26 games with a win rate of 62% to finish this achievement. So even though it's possible to cast 4 or 5 sigils per game, and there are plenty of demons to summon, the average amount of progress was less than 2 per game. It's not super speedy, but it was a lot of fun and felt pretty strong along the way. In Wild, the deck we're recommending still includes a lot of big demons, but we took a different approach. All of the Fel spells, except for Sigil of Wreckoning, have been cut from the deck so that Felgorger can pull the sigil from the deck and reduce its cost, making it a bit more consistent to draw and pair with Educated Elic a couple turns earlier. It will be sad when Pit Commander summons Felgorger from the deck, but the increased consistency of the draw and discount seems like a fair trade-off. Admittedly, the only card of this deck that isn't available in Standard is Soul Split, so you could certainly swap Soul Split for another card and just play this in Standard if you prefer. You might toss in Emperor Thaurissan or another Wild exclusive card to make it fit the mode better, but there weren't many Wild exclusive Demon Hunter cards that felt like a better fit for the deck. Have fun dropping massive demons onto the board and forcing your opponent to face a reckoning. Next up, we've got a one and done achievement for Dread Prison Glaive. We need to pull off an honorable kill against a minion with 5 or more health. So the standard deck we're introducing runs Fury, Chaos Strike, and Cartreuse as ways to ramp up the Dread Prison Glaive's damage to what we need. The deck is also running Expendable Performers as a way to get a really big minion to the perfect health total for us to do a 5 damage or more honorable kill, while also providing an opportunity to knock out the next achievement we'll look at in a moment, alongside Kurtrus and Fellfire Deadeye. In Wild, we're recommending a little more aggressive deck, which still runs Chaos Strike and Kurtrus, but also includes Twin Slice as a cheap way to set up a larger honorable kill. Ace Hunter Queen can also help mitigate the damage you would take running your face into minions with the glaive, so there's a better chance of winning the game played to knock this achievement out. This one's pretty straightforward, so it shouldn't take too long to set up a sizable honorable kill once you set out to tackle it. Best of luck making them fall really hard. For the final Demon Hunter achievement, we need the hero card Kurtrus Demon Renter and either 6 minions sticking to the board or a number of rush minions from something like Expendable Performers alongside Fellfire Deadeye. Sadly, this is another achievement that if you don't own the hero card, the hurdle is ridiculously high, as you not only need to get a copy from an opponent with something like Plagiarize or Vanessa Van Cleef, but you also need to have enough minions to attack so that you can use your hero power 7 times. Budget achievement hunters may want to steer clear of this one. If you do have Kurtrus, this one's pretty straightforward in a deck running Fellfire Deadeye and Expendable Performers. Polkelt is in this deck to improve the consistency of drawing Kurtrus and the Performers, but you'll want to make sure you have Fellfire Deadeye in hand before playing Polkelt, or else you'll have to use Persistent Peddler to reshuffle your deck after you get the top end card you were looking for. Since you do only need 6 minions to attack in order to pull off this achievement, Command the Illidari in Wild is a nice alternative to Expendable Performers, which can come down a couple turns faster if you draw well. Or a double coordinated strike can do the trick as well. Thanks to Fellfire Deadeye, we don't have to rely on sticking a board the previous turn, so you should be able to knock this out in just a couple games. Enjoy smashing that Fury button a whole lot of times. And that's a wrap. If you found this helpful, drop a like. Your endorsement can act like a flag runner so that other battle-worn achievement hunters can find this video without too much strife. We'll be conducting a flanking maneuver on the rest of the Fractured and Alterac Valley gameplay achievements as well, so be sure to check back or smash that subscribe button so that future videos aren't chained outside your reach. Also, if you have any questions or suggestions, let me know in the comments. And if you enjoy participating in experiments live, check out our stream at twitch.tv/SSAlchemist. We currently stream on Saturdays and Sundays. And remember, you're awesome. Thank you for watching, and have an awesome day.
Raise your voice for Alterac! Just remember, never fall back. Never fall back. Hold the bridge, push the